Why would Harry Kane go to Bayern Munich? It's just not logical to me. Oh, okay, Bayern Munich are a massive club, I know that, but he's tried to leave Spurs last season because they weren't in the Champions League and he wants to win things. They've now got one of the best managers in the world in Conte, which I think is one of the most important things about Spurs. Forget signings, forget Harry Kane. Conte is an amazing coach. So he's got a coach that he's not going to better. He's got his team that he's been at for years that he leads in the Champions League, and they're building a squad for the first time ever. So I think Harry Kane would be crazy to leave Spurs this summer when Spurs are set up the best they've probably ever been in his time. And it's a World Cup year as well. I just don't see Harry Kane going to Bayern Munich. I can see why Bayern Munich would want him. And I've got to say, as a non-Spurs fan, I always get excited of seeing British players going and playing abroad because we're so consumed by the Premier League and everybody's a Premier League star. And it's great when you see, and look, I'm a little bit old here, but it's great when you see a Paul Ince going to Inter Milan, or you see a David Platt going to Sampdoria, or a Gareth Bale going to Real Madrid, or I'm not going to say Beckham or Beckham because I didn't like that at all, but it is good to see. So I would like to see Harry Kane do that, but I can't see why he would do it. I really, really can't. Mark, how important will Jesus be for Arsenal, or should they have focused on buying defenders, says Bush? No, I think Jesus is perfect for Arsenal. Absolutely perfect. I wasn't a fan of Lacazette. I think Nketiah, probably not the level they need. Aubameyang obviously left. Jesus is a Premier League proven player at a very high level. All right, Man City have let him go, so it sort of shows you what level he is, but he walks into that Arsenal team and he brings a quality to that Arsenal team that he will be Arsenal's best striker by a long, long way. Arsenal are fighting for fourth. Jesus is perfect for that. So I begrudgingly admit that Jesus is a very good signing. I don't think he'll drop off, like Ryan said. I do think that I think he'll score a lot of goals for Arsenal. And I think if he can hit 20, that's exactly what Arsenal would want, isn't it? So let's see what happens with that. Interesting conversation. And I do think that the race for top four really does depend on how teams start the season. Certainly Arsenal can't start the season like last year with 3 losses. They've got to hit the ground running because there's no September international break at the start to save any team where you can just get yourself together again and go again. You've got to get that momentum from the start and you've got to build it because 8 games, I think it is, till the first international break. Fitting in between that, I do want to talk about this. Chelsea. What is going on with Chelsea? We've heard Thomas Tuchel coming out, I think, in the early hours after that game with Arsenal and talking about how the players didn't deliver and they didn't deserve to win the game. I look at Chelsea and I think, well, they're always very good in the transfer window. I know they've changed a lot. They've got a new owner. But then in thinking that they're going to be a team that's potentially challenging a Liverpool or a Man City, you've also got to consider, well, what if they don't? What if they're this year's Man United, where everyone thinks they're going to be top 4, everything implodes and they fall out? And maybe Arsenal and Spurs, or maybe even a United pop back in. The interesting thing with Tuchel is people are talking about the transfer window and Tuchel wants to sign new players. But what about if Tuchel's job is in danger? And I've not heard enough people talking about this. I know it sounds ridiculous because he was a manager that United fans were sort of being linked to back in March before we got Ten Hag. And he's a very, very good coach, Champions League winner with Chelsea. But this is new owners at Chelsea. And it's very, very common for new owners to go into a club and want to stamp their authority. Is there a danger that Tuchel could lose his job? Well, not now, but if they have a bad start to the season, there's a very big danger, very clear and present danger, because this is what new owners do. This Todd guy who's took over Chelsea, he's very hands-on. Seems to get on well with Tuchel, but bad start to the season, manager a bit vocal about signings, new owners think, you know what, we want our own guy in here. And Tuchel's out of a job. So very, very interesting few weeks ahead for Chelsea, not only in what they do in the transfer market, but also in what they do in relation to results. Because I'm telling you now, seen it time and time again, where a new owner comes in, they inherit a manager, we want to work together, but really you're spending all this money, you're newly in charge, and you want your own guy. So I'd keep an eye on that. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I do think it's something to consider. And I think also, in defence of Tuchel, who I think is a really good coach, the transfer window does come across as a little bit naive. Koulibaly's a good signing. But what are they doing with this Koundé deal? To everybody, we thought he was going to Chelsea on Friday. But on Thursday, we were like, why are Chelsea looking at this? He'll clearly go to Barcelona. On Sunday night, it looks like he's going to Barcelona. And you think, why have you got involved in that deal? Why have you done that again? The same thing that happened with Rafinha. For every deal you get involved in and you don't pull off, you waste time. And there's not a lot of time in the transfer window. So Chelsea need to turn it around fast on and off the pitch, but not a ball has been kicked yet. So there's plenty of time. Of course there is.